back.
I'm literally back.
You're back.
Sorry, what do you think I am? I do need my archery.
No. I'm not introducing this one.
Understanding your self-worth when something or someone can really pull it out right from under us. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you went to go there.
Do you know what I mean? You're really dropping the gems today.
It's been there for a while.
You're really dropping it. Are you sure you didn't come prepared for
Well, let me get...
Yes. Okay. Good to go. Fabulous. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 with It's Tea with P. My name is Priya. Today, I have a very special guest. I don't even know how to introduce you. My ride or die.
That's me.
The most creative
I need to relax.
CEO.
CEO.
Friend and family,
so
Shireen.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, Priya.
Hi.
You okay? It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
Okay.
How you feeling?
It's interesting. I was saying how I feel like, we've been talking about the podcast for so long, and now I'm here, and it feels real. Like before, I was like, do the podcast, Priya. I didn't think about it like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be sat here now, to just be like, yeah, wow, it's real. I see the equipment. I see the microphone.
Yeah.
We're here. I'm proud of you.
I'm
very proud of you. Yes.
Thank you. You are also one of the first people that I said or talked about this idea with. What were your like first thoughts when I said to you like, I want to start a podcast?
You know my first thoughts.
Yeah.
My first thoughts were, well, the first one was that I've known you for a while, innit? Like I've known you since what? Secondary school?
Yeah, pretty much.
But what year did we actually start talking? We didn't talk like that.
Yeah. Year
but
10?
I've known you for a while, basically.
Yeah.
And just before university, you were super, super, super like driven by business and purpose and just being a self-starter and your independence, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were always doing these initiatives. You were always coming up with ideas and executing them.
Yeah.
And then obviously life happens as it does for so many people. Yeah. And then you kind of put that to the back burner, to the side, right?
Yeah.
So it's super cool to see you in this space now where you're kind of connecting with that passion and that fire that you had all of those years ago. Yeah. Because I know once you get stuck into something, you are stuck in. Yeah. You are stuck in.
Yeah, you're so right. I feel like in uni, like obviously for those people that don't know, I wasn't going to go to uni, which is a story. It's so crazy because I had the best uni experience, but I wasn't actually going to go to uni. I was going to just work and kind of make money and
you didn't care.
That. I didn't care. I honestly didn't care. Whereas you guys were all like getting to amazing universities and I was like, going through clearing to get into, I just wasn't my vibe. I was just like, I want to do this and this is what I want to do. And I think you're absolutely right. For so long, I was so passionate about these things. And then, for a while, it just kind of, that fire kind of died inside of me where I was like, I had other priorities like moving and all of that kind of stuff. And now I'm back.
You're back.
I'm literally back.
You're back. And we were literally saying in the car that, I just feel like the you are going to learn and grow into in this season is just so exciting. Yeah. Like the way you are going to grow, just like personally, like your vibe, your purpose, the way you're going to feel connected to your purpose is going to be different. Wow. Because it's mad, but I think you're going to see a big side of yourself. Yeah. Like your capacity. It's super cool.
Oh, thank you, Shireen. Yes. Thank you. For obviously those of you that don't know you, you are a huge part of my life. Yes. But do you want to give like a brief overview of what you do, like life? Okay. How? Do you know what it is? Yeah. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah, please tell me.
Like, you know that question, how are you? I feel like you really deep that question because some people are like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good. But when I ask you, how are you? You really think about it. So I want to ask you, how are you?
Okay. Now, firstly, the first thing before I answer the question, I'm super aware. I am the questioner. I could ask you 10 deep questions. We'll be chilling and I'm doing deep. Yeah. When someone asks me those deep questions and I have to reflect, I'm like, oh, it's a bit different. It's easier asking. But still, how am I? I know how I am. I feel I'm in this weird space. Not a weird space. It's a new season. There's a lot to say, but I won't we've only got an hour, so you know. But I feel like I'm in this space where I'm in a new season. So as you know, like last year, I really was working hard and I got a routine, and I feel like in many ways I was the best I had ever been. After a really low point, right? But I was in the best space I was ever in many ways. And then obviously lockdown eased, and then life started changing again. Do you know what I mean? So as opposed to, or like where I was before, kind of waking up and jogging and doing a Bible study and then working at home and then going to the park every day, like all of these feelings were filling me up and I felt good. And now I'm going to work like 4 days a week. That alone is different. And now I'm seeing so many people, because now things are eased up. Everyone's like, oh, what are you doing on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday? Do you know what I mean? So I'm very grateful that we're in this space and that we're freer and all of that. But also I don't know how to be who I was before and have the time and the capacity to do what I was doing and sowing those seeds. And I feel like I'm feeling that. So I'm in this stage where
lockdown. I think that takes there's so much to say just in itself. But I feel like lockdown really taught even me that time of just spending time with you and really do things for you and prioritizing you. And now coming out of lockdown is really hard, because I think even the other day when we went to the park and on our drive home, I was like to you, like even now driving by myself or taking a walk by myself or being by myself, I'm like, I'm so in my thoughts and I don't like it, because now there are other things to distract me if I want to be distracted. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know, like I don't know how, because that's literally what I was pre-lockdown and I don't want to get back to that.
But this is why, like, even though like in my mind that's natural, like we're in a similar place where past thoughts or habits and routines are coming back based on the space we're in and the freedom we have. But this is why we need to use this season or this space to think about, okay, we're feeling this, but how can we translate what we were doing before and the seeds we were sowing before in this space now, so I don't feel this way. Do you know what I mean? So it's like acknowledging I feel this way and now thinking about how can we work on this now, because I know I can work on this. So
100%. Do you think you can tell what our dynamic is?
Do you know what, it's so mad, because every day I don't just say yes or no, you know. There's a story.
That's why you're here.
Everything.
That's why you're
3-hour podcast. I'm still going.
That's honestly why you're here.
But yeah, just quickly, I just feel like everyone who knows me knows Priya. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to explain that relationship. They just know what it is. So, but I haven't tried to put words to it.
Yeah.
And
that's what this game is.
Okay, let's go.
Just to really put words to the relationship that we have. So the first question.
Okay, yeah.
You answer for me and then obviously I'll answer for you.
Perfect.
What do you love most about our collaboration?
Oh, collaboration.
So I guess
interesting
friendship, however you want to interpret that.
Yeah. I feel no, I can tell you everything.
Yeah.
Scary. As in, like, you could tell all your friends a lot, but you know you have different friends for different seasons and different reasons.
Yeah. I might put that as a title.
Okay, but you could have friends for like different reasons and different seasons. No, in all fairness, I don't do everything with you that I do with all my, like, we don't go museums and stuff, but nonetheless, I can tell you everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have any borders or boundaries up. We've got a nice safe space going on. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what I love. That's the first thing that came to mind. Just that space that we've created for ourselves that allow us to be super and there's so much that goes with it. Like, I'm giving like 10 answers, but it's all the same answer. But like, even when you think about that safe space we've created, it's like, it's a non-judgmental area, like a really empathetic, compassionate space. You know what I mean? Where we might not always agree, but we actually listen to one another and we know each other so well that we could listen and understand, actually we might not agree, and yes, I've got flaws and you've got flaws, but at the end of the day, it's like a super compassionate space. It's a loving space. I love it. Oh,
but you're 100% right. You're 100% right, and I love that also about us and our friendship, that there's no boundaries. I don't think there's nothing about me that you don't know, and I think it's the fact that like, oh my gosh, when I really deep that,
it's actually mad.
Like, I'm thinking, is there anything that Shireen doesn't know about me? Like, you know everything. You really know my deepest, darkest secrets.
Wow, it's so mad.
Yeah, and I think it's the fact that I can really come to you and tell you anything. Number one, I feel safe, but what we say, oh, there's no judgment. There's really no judgment.
Yeah.
And I love that you say things to me in the most honest way, and then you also say, but I'm not giving you advice though.
Yeah. I always say, I'm going to say it again.
Disclaimer.
My biggest advice is not to take my advice. That is my, so take it or don't take it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's not my business,
I love that, because I think sometimes when you go to people with things that you're going through, a lot of people's first instance is to problem solve that or give advice or judge it,
but out of a good place,
or consciously or subconsciously. It's not from a bad place, but they judge it. But when I come and tell you things, your instant thought, I always believe, is to listen, and your instant thought is always to make sure that, am I okay? Like, are you okay? And I think really in this last year, because I think we've always been close. We've had we've had seasons, But even when I moved to Leeds, like our friendship, I don't think it was strained as such.
It was different. The season was different, but we knew that at the end of the day, the connection was there.
For those of you that don't know, Shireen has a
I think I'm going to get emotional.
Shireen has a business called Golden.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, do you want to explain what Golden is, or shall I?
What do you want?
You go explain Golden. Go on.
So Golden is a purpose group for Black women to reach their goals and pursue their purpose. So I started it almost 5 years ago, which is super cool. And it was just born out of, I always say it was born out of 3 things. So firstly, 5 years ago, or about 4.5 years ago, I was in this space where I was like really needing community, and I didn't feel like I had it. Secondly, I was in uni, like second year of uni, and I went to this women's development course, and apparently it would have cost thousands of pounds, but they gave it to us for free, but you had to apply. And I got in, and it was so good. And I was like, do you know what? I want to do this, but also I want to do it with my people, and I want to bring my community in. Do you know what I mean? And then thirdly, I had incredible friends, and like when we'd be sitting down talking, they'd have incredible ideas, but didn't have a platform or a space, like an encouraging space to like nurture that. So it started, like, it was provoked by those 3 things. We've been doing it for 4.5 years. I'm really proud of it. I always say, I'm not going to go on for too long.
No.
But it's not, I create the space, but I don't make every, like, women, every month we organise, or I organise, just spaces for, like, Black women to come together, regardless how old or how young you are, and just to share. Not as whatever, but on an equal level. Do you know what I mean? So that in itself is you, over the last 5 years, really walking in your purpose and your mission being, like literally what you said, like just empowering Black women and creating that safe space for them. I'm
and
gonna
through
do the Kim
Golden,
Kardashian ugly cry face. I can see it coming.
And through Golden, and you will never say it, and you will never admit it, not in a million years, Shireen. But through your platform, people have grown other businesses and started walking in their purpose. For me, one of the biggest things, like I said, you do is walk in purpose. But you really, I don't even know how to articulate this. Like, you really, and we have conversations all the time about self-worth. And that's really what I want to unpack today.
Okay, come.
It's understanding your self-worth when something or someone can really pull it out right from under us. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you went to go there.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when we don't feel like our worth is enough, but really taking ourselves out of that place and telling ourselves, no, I am still worthy. And that's such a difficult thing. And this is conversations that we have in the park all the time. And I feel like both myself and you over this last year have had to learn that in some difficult ways and some easier ways. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? It's a lot there, isn't it?
That's a big question.
It's a lot.
What are my thoughts on that?
Yeah, like, as in
what? Narrow it down for me. That's a big. So, what is my thoughts on self-worth?
Okay, let me ask you this then.
Okay, yeah.
What does self-worth mean to you?
Okay. It's a big question.
It's a big question.
I'm gonna have to get my journal out. So this is when I need to start brainstorming.
So even journaling. Talk about journaling for a minute.
Okay. Thank you for breaking it down.
Yeah.
So journaling. I'm a journaler. I like journaling. Yeah, it's so mad because once again I don't really talk about it like this, but
you never talk. Talk about
I journal. I guess I've been journaling for years. I think I've got about 14 journals.
Oh my god,
if not more. From about 2014. In each season it serves different purposes. Like there are seasons where I journal every single day. There are seasons where I just haven't journaled for a month. Like in this season, as I'm transitioning and I don't have time, it's not the priority, but I feel when I don't do it. Do you know what I mean? So I journal, and then I say I journal for 3 things. So to reflect, to reflect on where I am, to reflect, to release. Like there's just so much in my in mind that we like, so much goes into our mind. We feel so much and we don't release it. So to reflect and to release and to remember. So just to remember, like,
Shireen, you're really dropping the gems today.
It's been there for a while.
You're really dropping it. Are you sure you didn't come prepared for
well, let me get
But journaling is honestly like, when you think, because I think for me journaling is turned into, it's not every day speak your mind to people, Priya. Sometimes just keep quiet, and that was such a hard thing for me to understand in my relationships. Like it's not every day speak out loud, and understanding communicating as well. And I think journaling for me is a place where, like, whatever I feel like I need to say to someone, I will write it down, and my mind is empty. It's not on my heart anymore, because we'll be walking around feeling so heavy in our hearts. And as soon as I finish writing, whether it's in the morning or it's part of a morning routine, or if it's in the evening, or sometimes in between work, it'd be like that sometimes. It just clears my mind and it clears my heart. Like I've got a notes page on my phone just of random thoughts. And honestly, if someone stole my phone and they saw the notes, ignore it, because it's so random.
Like we were saying that, because we both record ourselves sometimes as well. Like if we don't have time to write, we'll be walking and recording like, hi Shireen, today I am feeling like this.
Yeah, and honestly,
it helps.
It's like people may laugh, or like you may think it's magic, but it's actually not. You actually don't realize how therapeutic that is. Just to take things off your mind and write it down, because you don't realize how much you're carrying around with you and how many thoughts, like, because sometimes I ask people like what do you think about when you're just sitting there doing nothing? There's still thoughts pouring into your mind, and it could be sometimes toxic thoughts to maybe positive thoughts, or just, I don't know, something. And just speaking out loud while I'm driving, or speaking out loud while I'm at the park, or when I'm walking my dog, it really helps me release.
It's different. So can I do an activity?
Oh my god. Oh, always. Please.
So basically, because I think this perhaps exemplifies it very well. So basically, like you said, like every day, so many things, like we've got thousands of thoughts every day, right? And when we're not journaling, we just like lump those up in our minds and our hearts and our bodies, right? And we don't release. That's a lot that we're carrying. So someone asked me to do this activity, to think about how much you've taken in that you haven't even deep that you're taking in.
Oh my god, I'm
nervous. And if you can remember it as well.
Okay.
So, okay, what are? So you've been out, right? You've been on cars. You've met people. Okay. Sorry.
What do you think I am? I do need my archery.
No, I'm not introducing this well, but I mean, like, you've been to M&S, like you've seen people physically today, because it's based on my activity.
Okay,
you might have to cut this part out.
Yeah. We went to the petrol station.
Okay, so what are 3 things that you've noticed people wear today? You take all of these things in. Have you?
I noticed someone wear a blue puffer jacket whilst I was sitting in traffic outside of a school. I noticed someone wear a sleeveless hoodie, and I was like, it's raining, babes. Is this what are you doing? And I saw someone wear shorts.
There you go.
Yeah.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah.
Like there's so much that goes into your mind and you don't really process it. But when you have to process it, it's like, wow. And then furthermore, your actual personal deep dark thoughts that you just kind of shut off. But when you stop to think about it, it's like, oh, this is actually deep. And there's like loads of these.
Because when you asked that question, I was like, I don't know.
Exactly, but you knew very.
Then I had to
that
deep.
took you like 2 minutes.
But then I had to deep because I was sitting in traffic and I was just looking at what. Because in England, the weather is mad and it's hot, but it's still raining. Yeah. And I was like, oh, people are wearing such different clothes. But I would never really deep that thought.
Yeah. but your mind's taking it. Our mind's taking so much, and some of it's weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is why journaling is so good. We've been in situations recently, a few different situations, which have had, and some have defined our self-worth, even for a season, right? Yeah. When you're able to stop and understand that actually, although, for example, my connection to this person defined my worth in so many ways, actually this season's over, and I need to trust and have faith that my purpose is bigger than this, and also my God knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So when you understand that, it's like, okay, how can I grow from it? How can I learn from this? But how can I also realize that my life's not over? Do you know what I mean? And I've still got so much worth, and my story's not finished, and my value is still so exponential. Even though these things that we've attached to our self-worth, so when they go, shakes us up a bit, and we're like, but what is my worth? Do you know what I mean? If the person who was always sewing into my worth isn't there, then like it's easy to fall into that trap.
Because oh wow, there's so much there, because I think a lot of us end up putting our self-worth, just like you said, on people and their actions or how we're treated.
It's mad.
And a lot of us end up getting into toxic relationships because of that, because we think we know our self-worth. We're like, yeah, you know, I'm a strong, independent woman. I know what I am. Then things happen and people may treat you in a certain type of way which questions your self-worth, and you're like, wait, no, what? And you may sit back and reflect, like, did that really happen? Or maybe I'm not worthy. And you start to question it, and it's so difficult to pull. It's sometimes very difficult to pull yourself out of that rut. So what do you kind of do to like pull yourself out of that rut when you're feeling like you're not worthy?
Wow.
Because it's difficult. Some of us do. Like, even for myself, that's because even for myself, I was never intentional about things I did to ensure that my self-worth was my priority, because I always end up prioritizing everybody else. I wasn't my priority, and I think over this last year I understood the consequence of that. I really understood the consequence of not making myself a priority. And now, for me, it's really doing things that spark joy for me. And feel joy for me. So what about for you?
So can you repeat the question? I need to have the question to respond to.
What did I even say? I can't remember. Like, what, when you're, when you're in a rut, or where you don't feel your self-worth, how do you take yourself out of it, basically?
A few things. So when I was in a rut, I think it got to, so a few things, So it got to a stage, firstly, where I was like, the rut was so low, I was like, I need to take myself out of this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to remember I am way more than this, and I've got so much to give, and as opposed to putting all of my energy and draining all of my energy in this space, actually let me invest the energy into me. And I think as well, in terms of like getting myself out of that rut, something comes to mind that, like, last year when I was in a low place, I remember, in the most humblest way, I'll share this story, but someone, like, I had stopped golden for a while just because I didn't have the capacity. And I think golden really does reflect on my self-worth, not because it's like a cool thing to do, but I'm in my purpose. I understand that my purpose is what it is. You know what I mean? So I stopped it for a while just because emotionally I wasn't there. And then someone reminded me of my worth. Someone was like, Shireen, like, I'm just trying to affirm to you right now, like, the space is like incredible and I really miss it. Do you know what I mean? And like, please don't take that for granted, like how like you've kind of like touched my life kind of thing. And then I was like, oh, okay. My worth is actually way bigger than this situation. Actually, this situation is actually quite small when I think about my worth and my purpose if I don't let this situation define me. So that was one thing. And then something else that came to mind is like a few months back, my day did not start well. And you know when your day doesn't start well, it doesn't really end well. Do you know what I mean? But I got to midday and I said, Shireen, what you're going to do is you're going to get up, you're going to start the day again. At midday, you're going to have a bath. You are going to do what you know that's going to like sow into you. You're going to do a Bible study. You're going to eat a good wholesome meal. Like, you're going to do a bit of exercise. And also I recorded it.
Wow.
To see, like, let's see if I'll show it to you later.
Well, like video recorded it.
Yeah.
Really?
Let's see, like, you're going to brush your teeth again. You're going to wash your face again. You are going to rewind and do it again. Do you know what I mean? And by the end of it, I was like, okay, ready to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Wow. That was literally my lunchtime. That's how I spent my lunchtime. So I think sometimes, because the thing is as well, like, as always, when you're in that rut, you don't necessarily want to get out of it, like you said. You want to get out of it, but you don't have the energy to get out of it more. So do you know what I mean?
100%.
So yeah.
And I think also, like, we speak about this often, in terms of when you're also feeling that type of way, feel it.
Yeah.
We say this all the time, isn't it? Like, when you're feeling sad, feel sad. If you're feeling angry, feel angry. And I, oh my gosh. One of the things that you gave to me, I remember, oh my God, this godforsaken horrible day that I was literally in my feelings and I came to you and we sat at the park at Beckenham Park and you were like, okay, I'm going to get this thing out right. She took her phone out.
Wow. Yeah.
You took your phone out. And you took out this thing called the is it called the emotional wheel, or the
emotion wheel, something like that.
The emotion wheel, and it basically for people that don't know, oh my God, it blew my mind. It was such a simple thing, because sometimes we're feeling these things, right, and we don't know what we're feeling. Like, we could say the borderline, yeah, I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling happy, or I feel angry, I feel frustrated, I feel whatever, all of those things, right? But basically, what I'll try to put it up on the screen, but the emotion will basically breaks down those simple emotions that we say to, like, further emotions as well. So, like, you might have sad, and then you might have sad, and then disappointed, and depressed, disgrace, like words that you don't think, that
or like hopeless, worthless.
Yeah, like
it breaks it down. Anxious.
Yeah, it really breaks it down, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't think. Yeah, and I do feel these things, but in that same time when I was feeling horrible and so sad and so disappointed, there was a certain happy. Do you remember when we went through the happy? Like, we went through happy, and I was like, oh, like,
that was such a sick moment. Yeah,
because there was in the happy emotion sector of that wheel, there were feelings that I could still relate to,
like hopeful, inspired, motivated. And
I was like, what? Like, I do. Yeah. Like, I do feel those things as well. But when we're feeling it, we don't realize those are all those words that we're feeling. And literally just you doing that. And that's what I mean. Like, you always have an activity like that. That honestly it brings it all together. And it blew my mind, because I was like, I didn't realize I was feeling those things. And I'm so happy I took that time to feel it.
Oh, that makes me happy.
As well. Because sometimes we're like, yeah, I feel sad, but okay, got to keep going. And I think sometimes we get that from our parents as well. Like, oh, we don't have time to be sad. We don't have time to be angry. We don't have time to be disappointed or depressed. You just got to keep going. And I was so like that. You just keep going and going. And then one day you blow.
You break. You literally collapse. Exactly.
And I've had so many moments like that. And then this last year, it was like, whoa, I'm going to take moments to feel every emotion that I'm feeling. And
the good and the bad.
The good and the bad. And it's honestly insane. It's honestly insane. So thank you for
You're welcome.
Bringing that into my life. Because sometimes I do sit in the car and just kind of use that. You know?
I need to do it more. I need to do it more, to
useful.
Be honest, yeah.
It's because sometimes I just don't understand. Because you know how we, like, we're feeling a type of way, but I don't know why I'm feeling that way. Or I'm feeling a bit antsy, but I don't know why I'm feeling it. And honestly, that helps.
Yeah, I love that. It really gives you that's it. It gives you the language for your feelings. Sometimes you can't find the language. You're like, oh, and that's okay. Like, I'm feeling all these 10 emotions, but I am feeling these 2 happy emotions, and I do have these 3 sad emotions, and that's how I'm feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when you don't have that language, it's like, I just feel like shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, literally. But okay.
The question is, would you rather cry in a Bentley or be happy in a bus? You think I'm just sitting in a bus with bands? I thought you meant. No.
You want to cry? Which one do you want to cry in?
I'd rather cry with the community around me, going through ends.